Alright, hi everybody, it is Bonkai922. Haven't done a video since yesterday afternoon. So I don't know why. I didn't do a video yesterday all day. That's what happens. Now, Kotoura-San. But before I get into that, I need big news to say. Big news. Don't adjust your TV. Don't adjust your sets. I'm going to review episodically, episode by episode, 6. I know that's a lot. 6 animes from the spring. And I just want to briefly state this, what they are. They are obviously the big kahuna, Attack on Titan. Date Alive, that's good. Susei no Gargantia, IG Productions, Mecha. My Youth Romantic Comedy is Wrong As I Expected, which is another good one. It's a light novel, which I've read and know what happens in it. I think the Japanese title of that is Hayori, or, Shoshun, Love, Come, Wa, whatever. Crime Edge, very weird, but looks interesting. And finally, Devil Survivor 2. Everything else is going... I will tell you later on what the other... But those are the ones that I'm going to review for the spring. One show's going to be on Wednesday, 2 are going to be on Thursday, and 2 are going to be on Saturday, with 1 appearing on Sundays. And that's the story. Now, Kotoura-San, let's get into it. This episode, holy shit. Holy shit. Stand By Me, episode 11. Stand By Me. That's such a weird episode title. This episode gets a 5 out of 5. This episode was insane. Like, literally insane. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable episode. I was floored. Absolutely floored of what happened in this episode. So let's get into the summary. Beginning part, we get what we left off. Yuriko is about to be attacked by the criminal. The vice president. He jumps in. I believe that was... What's his name? Can't find him. Moruto. Can't say his name. Morito. Can't say it. Maruto. He jumped, the vice president, he jumps in and protects Yuriko. He gets hit. Then Hiyori shows up, tries to attack the attacker, the criminal, and she gets thrown. She gets annihilated there. And then the criminal looks at Kotoura-San, Haruka, and smiles. Now, when I first saw the guy with the hood on, I thought, this guy looks like Manabe. So I was a little, but at least to say, it wasn't Manabe. And I was actually, honest to God, I was surprised who it was. And surprisingly enough, I think a lot of people knew who it was, which is even more surprising. The killer, later on, is revealed. But let's get into the summary. Basically, after that situation, Moruto, I can't even say his last name, vice president, he gets sent to the hospital. Yuriko is there, tending to him. And there's a conversation between Kotoura-San and Hiyori. Kotoura-San is really depressed. She's upset. She's telling, Hiyori that, oh, it's my fault. This is all my fault. If this didn't happen, if that didn't happen, And she's also saying to her that, Manabe was worried about me all the time. She read his thoughts. She knew he was worried about her, and so on and so forth. That leads... And while she's talking to her, she gets a phone call from her parents, Hiyori, to pick up soy sauce or something. It's like, why do that? And that allows Kotoura to leave the hospital. And then she realizes it, Hiyori, and then she runs after her. And then we have a scene where she's walking around, and she goes to the park, and she trips on a rock. And she bumps into the female detective, Tsukino. Now, the reason I say, is because, wink, wink, there's something fishy going on here with this detective, which later is revealed. So she goes to her apartment to heal her, to get her, leg fixed because she fell. And that's when, after that, we get a scene with Manabe. This had me crying a little. A little. If anything, Kotoura-San is a very emotional anime. Very. It's very emotional, very hard. You get very emotional with what happens in these episodes for Kotoura-San. It's really crazy shit, and it gets to you really, heavily. So that's basically the story behind it, and it was really emotional. And I got really teary up in this scene because what happens is she goes to Manabe and tells her what happened. She says, "Oni!" Demon, because of her face. She tells up like that again. And he talks to her, talks to Hiyori outside in this grade school, and begins to say what happened and everything, and he's like upset, and he's like, "Oh, thank God she's okay. Where is she?" And out of nowhere, Hiyori confesses to him, like, "I love you." That was shocking. That had me tearing. I was tearing up because she was crying and everything. It was like, but she says she loves and likes him and Kotoura-San, so she wants him to be happy. So he runs away and tries to find her because she didn't tell him where she was, and she starts crying, and it's a real emotional scene. And then we go from there to with Yuriko and the vice president. I'm not calling him that name. It's hard to pronounce. Anyway, and what transpires there is she's apologizing and she's crying because she felt that, she put Kotoura-San in danger, Hiyori in danger, and all this other stuff. And it was really a bad situation. And that leads to them finding out after that, because he supports her, the vice president's telling her, "Don't worry about it," and so on and so forth. And that leads to them finding out who the criminal is. And they piece together everything that had transpired, and they realize it's Tsukino, the female detective. Now, she's at her house, Kotoura-San, and they have dinner. And at some point, she questions her, "Oh, how did the criminal know, That was another thing I didn't understand. How did the criminal know, Yuriko, supposedly. And it's realized after she looks for her phone that she attacks her and her personality changes. And we found out that for the detective that she, as a kid, was bullied on and stuff, and she learned, like, karate or something, and all the stress that she gathered up, she pressed down on herself, and that altered her, having a split personality kind of thing. And that's when she says, "I'm the killer," and she's like, and I'm like, "I'm the criminal." I'm like, kind of a psycho kind of thing. And that's when Kotoura-San decides to run away from her, and when she's running, they say a few things to each other as she's running away. And Manabe hears her scream, and then he goes and he's going to where she is. And that's basically what transpired. she basically had a alternate personality, and this alternate personality would go around and beat up people that she was that bullied on her and stuff, and so on and so forth. And that's when she stopped calling Kotoura-San a monster and everything, and things coming back, and she says, no, it's different this time because I have friends. And she's about to hit her with that she has this thing, and Manabe blocks it. And then from there, Kotoura-San starts to try to reason with Tsukino. And that's when, after she reasoned with her, she drops down the baton thing, and she comes back. And her friends show up and everything, but it was such an emotional roller coaster up to that point. And she's basically saying to Kotoura-San, I have to pay for what I did, and so on and so forth. And that's when she meets up with her, the male detective, Yaman-san. And that's pretty much where the episode ends, more or less. I got a message from somebody saying that you watch past the credits, you find out shit. Now, this series ain't over. Oh, no. Next week, final episode. Take a wild guess who shows up next week. Her mother. The bitch mother. She actually shows up, surprisingly, in her apartment? So yeah, but overall, like I said, this was a 5 out of 5, no fucking around. You find out, I was actually surprised. I didn't actually, truthfully, I did not expect it to be the detective. It didn't fit. Even though she knew where the criminal was supposedly going to be and all this other stuff, I still didn't feel that it was going to be her that was the one. I really didn't. I just didn't feel like it was going to be her that was going to be the one that. So that was my whole point on it. But overall, this was an awesome fucking episode. And, it was just, I liked how this episode, it was like this whole thing with the detective and the criminal, I liked how it played in. It played in very nicely to up the ante of the suspense. And it just goes to show how far Kotoura-San went from the beginning of this series to now. I liked how it did that. Like how she she felt that her and Tsukino were similar. I really liked that. That was awesome. Now, next week is where the shit ends, and it's going to be awesome. Next week, there are so many final episodes. The final episode of this, final episode of Unlimited, Roman, final episode of... I think there's a final episode of freaking Tempest. There's a final episode of Seven Kagura. There's so many final episodes next week. Starting tonight with Psycho-Pass. Look forward to that later. But right now, that's all I got for you guys. It's been Bonkai 922. After this, I'm going to join a live stream with my good Titans of Darkness buddies. We're going to do some kind of live stream. Maybe invite people and stuff. But overall, this was an awesome episode. Tell me what you guys think. Comments below. Fucking Kotoura-San. This was such a great episode. Awesome way to close out this whole situation with the detective and the criminal. It was awesome. It was emotional, awesome, and suspenseful, which we didn't really get in the previous episodes. Even early on, after episode 1 and 2, we didn't get in the middle part. So this was awesome. So overall, great episode of Kotoura-San. I'm Bonkai 922. I will see you guys later. Psycho-Pass will come out later. I'll do that along with Medica Box and everything else on tomorrow, Friday. So yeah, this has been Bonkai 922. I'll see you guys later. I cried. I cried a little. See ya.